The Rip City Drive.
Mr. Brian O, what's up, Bino?
Chad doing. It is always great to hear you mixed with some Slayer in the background. Shout out to Shaq Diesel. Man, he is off to a great start over here.
Well, he loves you, and every time I tell you that you're coming on the show, I tell Shaq that, he gets all excited and stuff. But I want to start with this. Here's the latest from Aaron Rodgers in response to the apology from Sean Payton, head coach of the Denver Broncos.
The Hackett thing. Is it over in your head? How do you feel about it? Sean Payton today said that's in the past after your comments yesterday. What do you make of him?
I still got a lot more to say.
Please.
I don't need to. I said what I said. I stand by everything that I said. But there's a way of handling things and probably a way not to. Sometimes you say something really stupid. It warrants an apology. Sometimes you don't apologize. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Sean's entitled to his opinion. I'm entitled to mine. It's more to say for a different time.
So no text from him? No apologies?
I haven't heard anything.
I mean, Brian, what's your take on this, man? It feels like days of old with Jimmy Johnson and Buddy Ryan trying to fight each other after a game.
Man, I love it. I like the revved up Rodgers with Peter Schrager about, I think he needs to keep my coach's names out of his mouth. I like that more than this Kay Adams interview. Like, it's all good. It's fine. No big deal. And I also think that, by the way, a random observation, why do all these girls make us sound like such idiots? How she says, like, that's in the past. That is like the standard girl doing the guy voice. You know what I mean? Like, we always sound like morons when girls do their impression of us.
I know. Why is that? And plus, she kind of led him into that with the impersonation there. But what was your take on Peyton's comments when he said that the coaching staff last year, worst coaching job in NFL history? Do you think he violated the code?
Well, look, man, he certainly was unfiltered. There's no doubt about that. I appreciated the honesty. I didn't understand the need to do it. I appreciated it, though. And it's hard to find the lie in what he was saying because, this is a Broncos guy. That was an all-time awful job by Nathaniel Hackett. When you're having to hire coaches to pay attention to the clock for you, that's bad, man. That's really bad. And for Russell Wilson, who looked like a surefire Hall of Famer, to look like anything but, a lot of that falls on Nathaniel Hackett. So, listen, I think that you can be correct and wrong at the same time. I think that Sean Payton and most of the things that he laid out there, he was correct. It was truthful. But to put it out there the way that he did, there's a reason why he pretty much walked everything back. I'm sorry, my bad. I shouldn't have said that. I was unfiltered. It's just you typically don't see coaches going after coaches like that.
Don't you think there's some chance he's trying to take a little heat off his quarterback when he said it, Brian?
I mean, yeah, but did it work? Did it take heat off of Russell Wilson? Or is it like there's nothing that Sean Payton can say about Nathaniel Hackett that's going to earn Russ the benefit of the doubt if he stinks it up in week 1 or at the beginning of the season. Like, we're just going to be like, wow, Russ really is the problem. It's not just Nathaniel Hackett. So I don't really think if that was the goal, was to, as Rodgers said, maybe it's a soft landing if you fail, or you're trying to take some heat off of Russ. I don't think any of that is going to work. You know how it goes in the NFL. Sean Payton is a name. Russell Wilson is a name. If they don't deliver, they are going to get obliterated. That's just the way it goes.
We're talking with Brian O, Fox Sports Radio here on the Rip City Drive. Mike Sando has put out his quarterback tiers, and in Tier 1, here's the description of a Tier 1 quarterback. He can carry his team each week. The team wins because of him. He expertly handles pure passing situations. He has no real holes in his game. The top 5 in order: Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Rodgers, and Herbert. Do you have any issues with that 5?
Listen, Justin Herbert is a really good quarterback. And I'm not one of these people that says, hey, where are the playoff wins? And you know what I mean? Like, what's up with that blown lead against Jacksonville over there? You hear that a lot.
Yeah, but you're doing that voice you accused that woman of doing.
I'm doing the Kay Adams voice.
Yes. You're trying to make men look bad, Brian.
Yeah. Where are the wins from Justin Herbert? Where are the playoff wins? I hear that a lot, and it's, look, man, play some freaking defense. You're up 27-0. Play some defense. That's way more on the defense and Joey Bosa, Gronk spiking his helmet and a missed chip shot field goal than it is Justin Herbert. With all that being said, though, Jalen Hurts, I know some people want to see more of it. We have a smaller sample size with Justin Hurts, but I mean, Jalen Hurts. But you think what Jalen just did, taking his team to the Super Bowl and having what could have been an MVP season had he not gotten hurt at the end of the 2022 season. Like, if Justin Herbert has that season, right? Like, if he has a special MVP caliber season, he takes his team on the doorstep of a Super Bowl. He plays great in the Super Bowl. No one's putting Jalen Hurts over Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? So I would flip-flop those two. It's not a gigantic beef, but I would have Hurts over Herbert right here, right now.
Have you seen enough from Hurts now to where you don't really have any reservations about his dual threat game?
No, I need to see more. I mean, it sounds like a contradiction. I think you can be a top 5 quarterback as we speak here today, and I still need to see more sustained greatness to truly feel like, okay, there's no question about it. He had a really, really special season. He's got some special playmakers around him also, but I need to see it again. I need to see it for a good 2-3 years to be like, okay, this guy literally is the truth. He's off to a really solid start, but yeah, I got to see more before I can say I have no reservations. This dude is bona fide.
Brian, I'm not sure what your stance is on Hard Knocks. People lately have kind of jumped off the ship, but I'm curious, what's your expectation for it this year with the Jets?
Oh, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fantastic. Like, you have so many storylines and interesting players, good players, where you go with obviously Rodgers, but think about the offensive and defensive rookies of the year, respectively. You always have to throw that in there, right? But Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall is coming back from the ACL. Interested what his story is. Quinnen Williams just got a deal. Robert Saleh and Nathaniel Hackett. Like, Nathaniel Hackett's cred has been boosted by Sean Payton. Now he's a story. So, I think it's going to be tremendous. And when you match Rodgers with a legitimate top-flight defense, yeah, that's going to be interesting right there. I can't wait to see it.
All right, we have a discussion here among Shacker, myself, and the Godfather. We're trying to figure out the life of Brian Noe. We want to know if you're a streamer. The Pac-12 just announced today, or there's reports that Kliavkoff presented this deal, the media rights deal, to the presidents, and it looks like it's going to be a streaming deal with Apple TV, and there could be some linear options, but it's primary streaming. How often do you stream, and how open are you to paying for subscriptions to stream sports?
Well, there are layers to this, Chad. Okay, I stream if I have to. That's how I start off with. Now, we've rented houses all this year, so 2 different houses, and they don't have cable. And so we've streamed everything, and I freaking hate it. Gosh, I hate it. I've gotten used to some of it. Like, I've got my MLB app, and I'll watch baseball games pretty much every day, bits and pieces of them, you know? So I'm not completely against streaming. I much prefer having cable, and I can flip channels, and it's just what I'm used to. It's easier. It's quicker. There's no freaking buffering. Like, it drives me crazy. So if I can avoid it, I do. And with all that being said, I just don't go out and willy-nilly just buy, I got to get Apple TV. You know what I would do with the Pac-12? I'd be like, I guess I'm not watching most of the Pac-12. That really is how I would be with most of that. So I hate that concept that not everybody is watching it. And even some diehard football fans are going to say, especially in college football, there are a million games. Like, unless you're a Pac-12 junkie or that's one of your specific teams, like, I'm just not going to go out. There's far more football that I can still have access to without subscribing to one particular package to see that.
So are you going to do YouTube for the NFL?
Absolutely. Chad is actually the guy who turned me on to that. I was like, wait, you can stream stuff at home and not go to the sports bar every single week? Like, that works really well. I've done that. Gosh, Chad, it's been about, 3-4 years or so?
It's the best, man.
It really is good. And depending on your schedule, because, man, at that time when I was in Portland, I'm doing a show every day.
Yeah.
So to be able to just kick it at home and watch ball, Yeah, I see myself doing that again. I don't want to drag my girl to the sports bar every single week. It has been really good. You pay for it, but I think it's more than worth it.
Who do you think is going to win the NFC North?
I'm going to say it's the Lions. I don't love that they're getting so much love, but Minnesota is right there. Maybe it's just a little too much love for the Lions, a little too little love for the Vikings. But when it's all said and done, I think the Lions have enough to take that division. I'm not buying the Packers. I don't think that you're going to replace a reigning two-time MVP in Rodgers, who took a dramatic step back with his numbers, and just replace him with Jordan Love throwing 83 career NFL passing attempts. I don't think you're going to improve off of 8 and 9. It's just my gut feeling. I don't think the Bears are improving by leaps and bounds. I would go Lions, even though I think a lot of people are a little bit too low. Oh, the Vikings, their defense, right? Like that whole thing. I think that they're a decent team, and they're plenty capable of running it back and winning the North again.
How about the AFC East?
Finns, Dwight, why would you even waste my time asking me a question?
My goodness. Shake yourself.
Love the answer.
Man, if you gave me, I'll put it this way. If you gave me some of your cold hard cash, Dwight, and said, hey, because I've got it like that, here's $100,000 free roll. If you correctly pick who wins the AFC North, you keep all of the winnings. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure who I would take because I do think it's a 3-horse race. I think it's Bills, Dolphins, Jets. And whichever order, I can see either of those 3 teams. I really can, winning that division. The Bills, we all know their credentials. They're a quality team, but Josh Allen, look, we spend this time talking about Tua, and I get it with the concussion issues, missing 5 games. Josh Allen, he's much more durable, no doubt. But that dude is reckless. He is way more reckless running the ball than Tua is. And even though it hasn't bit him yet, I wouldn't be shocked if it bites him at some point. Obviously not rooting for it, but that's something to keep in mind when you're trying to handicap the AFC East. I don't know if Josh Allen, although he has mostly stayed upright, I don't know if he's going to continue to do that in 23.
All right, I want to play a clip for you, and this is from about 2 weeks ago, but I love it, so I want to play it for you because I want to ask you a question about it. Here's Asante Samuel when asked about Bill Belichick and whether or not he's the greatest of all time.
Is he the best coach in NFL history?
Absolutely not. Are you crazy?
Why not?
Well, look at his record without Tom. You got to win without Tom.
So you telling me?
One thing I learned about being great, you got to be great in different situations. It was all Tom. I was there. I saw it. It was Tom. Everybody know it. Tom know it, but he ain't going to admit it because he want to be politically correct. That's why I'm here.
That's why
I'm going to tell the truth.
And you're not afraid.
And I never.
And you got experience to talk the truth.
Because I've been there. I've seen it. I confronted him, and we've been through it, and that's how I do.
All right, there's Asante Samuel. Are you crazy? I want to ask you this, Brian. With the lack of success without Tom Brady, has it taken some of the luster off for you when it comes to the hoodie, Bill Belichick?
A little. I think it's crazy to say, are you crazy? Like you can't even make the argument. Of course you can make the argument that Belichick is the GOAT. But yeah, absolutely. Listen, Asante, it's not like he's not making any sense at all because you look at Belichick before Brady with the Browns, nothing to write home about. And you look at Belichick post Brady and he's a 500 coach. So yeah, I can see why someone would, squint and look at that and be like, I don't know. But the other thing, I go back to this. How many coaches would have put Brady in a position to be Brady? That's where you really have to give Belichick credit, where they kept a 4th-string quarterback during Brady's rookie season. There are a lot of teams that would have just cut bait with this 6th-rounder, like we got 3 quarterbacks already. They kept him around. Then we all know the story. Year 2 for Brady. Bledsoe goes down. Here comes Brady. He fills in admirably. AFC title game, Brady goes down. The, $100 million man, Drew Bledsoe, he saves the day in the AFC championship game. And the question is, are you going with the veteran, Drew Bledsoe, who just saved the day, or are you going with the kid in Tom Brady? And there are a lot of coaches that would have said, you know what, let's play it safe. Let's go with the vet, Drew Bledsoe, yada, yada. And they didn't. So I give Belichick a lot of credit for Tom Brady even beginning the ascent of being Tom Brady, because if he's in the same situation with numerous other organizations, it doesn't start the same way, and I don't know that it ever gets to the point it got to.
How concerned should the Bengals be with Joe Burrow's calf?
I mean, listen, I'd be concerned, but I wouldn't be petrified about it. I don't like that he already had a sleeve on the calf and then got hurt running. That's not great. That's not a great formula right there. The non-contact injury to a pre-existing injury, not great, but I understand it's his plant leg, and I understand that you could look at, say, Kevin Durant, who played a different sport but had that calf tightness, and then it led to an Achilles injury. You obviously hope that's not the case with Joe Burrow. So I'd be concerned, but that was in late July, Chad. You know? It's a calf injury in late July. So I wouldn't be just petrified about it. I still think, some people think I'm crazy. I think that with Joe Burrow's calf and Jalen Ramsey, the Dolphins corner, having knee surgery, there's no doubt the more impactful player is Joe Burrow. But the more impactful injury is Jalen Ramsey. We know he's out until maybe around December. He's going to miss about half the season, most likely. Joe Burrow might not miss a game. Like, he's probably going to be there for week 1. So I think the more significant injury is Jalen Ramsey. But, yeah, I'd be slightly concerned. I don't like any quarterback pulling up limp like that when no one hits them.
You know, Brian, you've often been our go-to social media guy, the guy we follow. We enjoy following you on social media, and always enjoyed the pictures of your travels, tried to follow you around the country in your jalopy as you drove around watching sporting events. But lately, it seems as if those pictures have sort of tailed off, and I'm kind of curious what's going on. I haven't seen a picture of you and your traveling companion in a while, and I'm kind of just wondering what's going on there.
Well, you know what? She's acting up, Dwight. And I'm like, listen, if you don't act right, we're not going to games. No, that's not either. No, it's just one of those things. It's we went to a Brewers game within the last month or so, roughly, and that was cool. We went to a Cardinals game. They were hosting the Yankees a couple of months ago.
And what did I tell you? Bet against Severino and he got blasted.
Well, that's the
thing,
Chad.
You went to the rainout, though.
We went to the rainout game. It got postponed to the next game, and I was so distraught with I couldn't get rid of my tickets, so I had to just eat the cost of them, and I totally forgot to bet on. I could have just bet against Severino and made up the difference. You know, that's what I should have done. So we made it to one baseball game, should have been 2. I think we're just pinpointing football season. And the other thing is we got to move. Listen to this story. So we got to move by Sunday. I don't have anything lined up. I'm trying to find a spot. I don't know where we're going. So that has been first and foremost is try to not be on the street because I don't think they're going to have Ethernet access for my remote radio shows. You know, they don't have it on like a manhole cover. So we got to find a place over here.
Well, we do expect pictures, whatever and wherever you are. You know, keep us supplied. Keep us up to date, Brian.
Okay, I'll do that, Dwight. I didn't realize. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and,
we care. We care about you.
It's got to be sort of like a quarterback has that internal clock of I got to get rid of the football.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to have is like, man, I got to post some pictures or Dwight's going to think something's wrong here. I
worry about
that.
you.
Yeah, I hear you on that. No problem.
And just remember, if anything doesn't go your way, just blame the media like Deshaun Watson. That's all you got to do. How cringeworthy was that, bro?
Oh, my gosh. It's like, dude, we're starting to either forget or maybe begin to turn the page on you being an all-time creep, and you play the victim card of, hey, everybody wants to focus on what? The 24, 25 sexual allegations? Like, yeah, we're still focused on that one. That was really bad, man.
Yeah.
Not the way to play it.
And I love D. Haslam coming out talking about how counseling's going very well for him. You know, he's making great progress. I'm like, nah, I'm not so sure about that, D.
But that's a sneaky team, man. If Deshaun Watson on the field looks like he used to.
They're loaded up everywhere.
Dude, that's a team that's not getting any attention right now.
They got a good running back. They got playmakers. Their offensive line is legit. They could be scary good.
They could be really good in that division. So that's one of those sneaky teams that not getting a whole lot of love. I could see it if it starts to mesh and Deshaun looks like Deshaun. They could have something there. They could.
Well, I'll tell you what, buddy, you're the best, man. Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio, on Twitter at The No Show. Thank you for the time, my man.
Always good hanging with you, Chad. Anytime, anywhere. I could be in the middle of I could be in a coma. And that's the way to wake me out of a coma is to be like, hey, man, you want to be on the show today? Boom, I'm out. I'm awake. I'm here for you guys.
Well, I remember that one time you were on some type of trek and you pulled over in a parking lot of a tavern and you said there were cows next door. You're like grazing cows next to you. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I've been at a lot of random spots talking to you on the show over the years.
There's no question.
And
Cool stuff.
Brian, if you really need it, we could probably get a tent here somewhere in Portland and
Yes.
send it to you.
No question. Guaranteed.
Hey, man, I might need that. I might take you up on that offer.
All right, buddy. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. I'll see you guys.
Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio.